Let's get right to it. The season is here. Bold predictions are back. I could not be more excited. It's Freaky Friday. It's Bold Peas. It's Bill Landis. It's Jeremy Birmingham and me, Austin Ward. And the Royal Court is now back in session. And I am prepared again to be the king and wear the crown on the throne. The crown? I don't know what that is.
I was going to wear a crow.
I'm going to wear a crow.
We are not being paid to promote that new movie, The Crow.
Oh. I can't. Have you not seen it yet?
I have not.
Oh,
I saw it when it came out in 1993.
Got it. Well, that has nothing to do with Ohio State playing Akron on Saturday at 3:30. We will be there for that. Absolutely thrilled to be back in the horseshoe for 2024 Ohio State football. Had some season-long Bold Peas on Freaky Friday last week, but now it is time to drill down on the Buckeyes and Zips. And Bill, you already got it started on like Thursday, or maybe, I don't know when it was, Snappy Jays. You already given Bold Peas, and Berm's been giving Bold Peas for like 2 months about what's going to happen on Saturday. So we're like 10 deep already. What do you have left?
Yeah, I've got some left. I said like James Peoples might lead them in rushing. Is that what I said? I think
that was my Bold Pea.
Yeah. Okay. My first bold prediction is that Ohio State's defense starts this season the right way with a shutout and also scoring a touchdown. I think this defense is ready to roll. Also, Akron's offense stinks. Berman and I were talking before we started recording. Akron's defense is like oddly kind of good, at least for a MAC outfit. Maybe we can talk about that a little more, but I don't think this offense is very good. There's a reason that Akron was picked to finish 11th out of 12th in the MAC and is like 132nd in preseason, like SP plus in college football. We might be talking about perhaps the worst team in college football this year. We'll see how things play out. So, and I think a lot of that has to do with their offense, despite the fact that Joe Moorhead's there. So Ohio State, I think, is just going to shut them down. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on this defense, especially as it pertains to getting after the quarterback. I think that will be drastically improved this year. I think we see it immediately. And I think that pressure that Ohio State is generating will lead maybe to a couple takeaways, but at least one of those takeaways will end with a defensive touchdown as well. So Ohio State's defense outscores Akron.
Jack Sawyer seems to have an axe to grind with Joe Moorhead. I was a little bit surprised that he dropped that info on Wednesday night.
Oh, I missed that. I must have been listening to somebody else talk at that point.
He said, their coach was Oregon's offensive coordinator when they came in and beat me when I was a freshman. So nice pull there. I don't know if that came up in any meetings or Jack Sawyer's just looking for a little extra juice going into the matchup on Saturday. But yeah, he dropped that little morsel out there, and it also came up when he was being asked about shutouts, which he seems pretty motivated that they get those. They're finding some ways to get amped up for this one outside of it just being the opener. I think you can tell that for sure.
Do we think they figured out how to defend the sweep that Oregon ran 3 times for a touchdown when Joe Moorhead was the OC there?
Well, they changed the entire defensive coaching staff outside of the defensive line since then. So,
yeah, that's true.
And I don't think the next week.
So I think they might have tried to make an adjustment to that play, but I guess we'll find out. If Joe Moorhead wants to go to that, you think he's going to call that as like their first play on Saturday? He's like, let's see if they figured it out.
He's definitely going to call it. Yeah. I don't think it'll work quite as well, but he will definitely call it.
I wish him good fortune in the wars to come. Berm, what do you got?
A few things.
Oh,
it's Freaky Friday. Number one bold prediction is that there are more new dynasties being started today in NCAA College Football 2025 than there have been since the day the game released, with the latest patch that includes a roster update, which means like a lot of the Buckeyes who are not in the game previously are now in the game, like Josh Simmons and a lot of the freshmen. Still not our guy Bourne, who's still the defensive end, but other than that, it's fine.
Oh,
he's going to have 2 sacks this weekend, by the way. I'm looking for a big game out of Bourne.
I thought that like Jack and Denzel were saying that they had convinced JT to join the game.
Have not, apparently. So still no 44 as your right side defensive end if you're looking to play your dynasty game. Beyond that, did you guys see that? I think it was on DraftKings. We're not doing a gambling show on the podcast because a lot of that has been moved over to Kings of the North with Tyler Shoemaker and Doug on Fridays. But
I think it's because they were embarrassed by how much money I made.
Maybe that's possible. I'm not going to rule that out. If there was one area where you were effectively king last year, it was in that show because Bill and Doug were like, they went to the Berm school of betting, I guess. That was bad. That was real bad. But Ohio State to get a shutout this weekend was only like plus 140. Like that's pretty low for a shutout. Shutouts are hard to get.
Yeah, those are not good odds. Do not take that for a shutout.
Shutouts are hard to get. Like that's kind of crazy. Anyway, Ben Finley, Akron's quarterback, has started 4 games in his career. He's a transfer. He started 2 at North Carolina State. He started 2 at Cal. One of those games was at Washington last year, which was his best statistical game of his career. And he threw for 207 yards, completing 53% of his passes and throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. So that's what you're going up against as your best game. And that was at Washington, a difficult place to play. Ohio Stadium can be a very difficult place to play. I think it's going to be rocking on Saturday for a 3:30 start against a team that the Buckeyes should roll over, but I don't think it's going to bode well for Ben Finley. That's not a bold prediction. What is the bold prediction is that Ohio State is going to, there's been a discussion about creating havoc and chaos plays. Those are happening on Saturday, and they're going to happen early. And Ohio State is going to have 3 first quarter interceptions against Akron.
Oh boy,
on Saturday.
Oh, whoa!
And we'll drill down. We're here to drill down.
Please do.
We're going to see 1 early in the game from Cody Simon. We're going to see 1 from Jordan Hancock, and we are going to see 1 from Caleb Downs in the first quarter.
Holy cow!
And that will be it, effectively.
Bill, do you think that Berm has decided to ramp up his preparation for Bold Peas this year? That was a lot of Ben Finley information.
That was more Ben Finley information that I think Ben Finley could give us off the cuff. Yeah, I don't like research.
Is it A, because he talked about Akron's starting quarterback and not knowing who it was 2 months ago on an episode of The Daily? B, embarrassment that he's never been the king of bold predictions? Or C, that he's already made 15 bold predictions for this game and had to really drill down to find something?
I think it's all of the above. Clearly. Clearly it's all of the above. Berm, do you have a weather forecast for Saturday?
It's supposed to be like 83 at kickoff and like a 30% chance of rain for the day. So it's not going to be bad.
I saw some stuff about storms. I got nervous. Hopefully that doesn't.
We've had this high pressure system rolling in over the last week. It's been very warm. When you get this sort of unseasonable warmth, the chance of pop-up storms, severe pop-up storms, is always higher than it is otherwise. So you're just hoping that happens early in the day and cools things down. Honestly, that's what I'm looking forward to.
There it is. Some bold.
I should probably look into that, see if I need to go buy some rain gear for my cameras on Saturday.
I'm looking at a 70% chance of rain right now, so you might want to do that.
Oh, that 70% chance during the game or 70% chance for the
I'll just read it to you. Well, this is weather talk. Scattered thunderstorms in the morning, becoming more widespread in the afternoon. Storms may contain strong gusty winds. High of 83. Winds out of the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 70%.
You know what? That makes me feel really good about predicting that Ohio State is going to run for 350 yards against Akron. Mm-hmm. I do believe that James Peoples is going to finish with more carries and more yards than both Quinshawn Judkins and TreVeyon Henderson separately, not combined, because those 2 guys are also going to get some touches. They don't need to play a ton. Both Quinshawn Judkins and TreVeyon Henderson, pretty well documented that they have a ton of experience at the highest level, a ton of carries, a lot of opportunities to have wear and tear on their body. They don't need to get more against Akron. They don't need to prove themselves. In fact, I don't think they should play. They shouldn't need to play after the first quarter. They probably will, but I don't think that they should. So let James Peoples go out there and play. Let Sam Williams-Dixon get some experience. Let these guys enhance the depth, get some action against Akron. Let them do it behind the first team offensive line so that you can get some meaningful evaluation reps against the defense that, as has been pointed out to me, was better than you would think that a 2-10 team would have been a year ago. So let them go out there and do it. Quinshawn and TreVeyon don't need to. And I think there's a lot of people that want to see James Peoples in a live setting and see what he can do, which could be pretty exciting. So James Peoples will lead that rushing attack, which will put up 350 yards on the ground.
Are you saying let my peoples go? Is that where we're going?
No,
he's in mid-season form.
Because it feels like you're saying let my peoples go.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it, but I also didn't say it. Bill, what is your second bold prediction?
Before I make it, is there any chance that Ohio State's offense is like just a little slow out of the gate because there is a lot of newness with it, and Akron's defense might not be like a total pushover?
I kind of think that's why they're going to run the football so much,
especially if it's rainy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think they're probably going to run it a lot too, which makes this prediction make absolutely no sense, but I'm going to stick with it. Will Howard, Devin Brown, and Julian Sayin will all throw touchdown passes in this game. And if I may drill down on Julian Sayins, he's going to throw it to Dorian Williams, our guy.
Oh, G-Dubs.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is bold.
I think we see three quarterbacks. I do wonder maybe. I think Ohio State's going to win comfortably. Obviously, it might be more of like a put them away in the second quarter situation. I guess I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case, rather than just like score on your first 5 drives and everyone take a break. But I do think they're going to end up running it, more than they throw it. So I'm only envisioning like maybe like one apiece for those 3 quarterbacks, one for Will, one for Devin, one for Julian, and most of the scoring production is done on the ground. But I do believe that when the backup quarterbacks are in the game, especially in these first 3 weeks, Ryan Day and Chip Kelly are kind of going to let them play. Maybe that's just my hope, and I'm trying to talk it into existence. But I do think they'll have a different approach in garbage time this year, as we've said before. And they're going to more or less let those guys run the offense. I think it's really important, especially for Julian Sayin. But I also think you want to let Devin Brown play some football, right? If he's not going to be your starter, he's been around. He's been like a loyal guy to the program. Don't just put him in the game and make him a handoff machine. I think they're going to get to throw it a little bit. So a touchdown pass apiece for the 3 starting quarterbacks that I think we'll see on Saturday.
Okay. Love that.
I don't want to talk about Jeremiah Smith. Okay. I think that
you and Ryan Day are just putting a ban on it for now.
No, but I'm going to talk about Jeremiah. He's going to score the first touchdown of the season for Ohio State. It will be a touchdown over 70 yards in the first quarter for the Buckeyes. I don't know.
Like first play?
It's going to be early. I would like on Ohio State's first drive, probably. I think you're going to see him score a 70-plus yard touchdown. I don't know
what's going to happen on the other plays if it's not the first play. If it's going to be 70,
I don't know, like a handoff for 3.5 yards on the first play, and then you go deep to JJ on the next one. Okay. I know that Akron has not practiced against a player like Jeremiah Smith, so
you think?
I'm pretty confident about it. So I think that Ohio State. Do you guys remember like 10 days ago, we were at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and Chip Kelly was walking off the field and we were asking him about the tush push or what I saw.
Don't say we
about that. And also I saw someone on the Ohio State Rivals message board who called the tush push with Will Howard the willpower. And I love it. So like, that's definitely what it would be. So he was talking about, oh, we can do this, we can do that. And then he said, like, with that little, which I'm becoming quite fond of Chip Kelly, that little wry little smile, like, or we could just throw it up to JJ. And like, I think they're just going to do a lot of throwing it up to JJ. And I think it starts early and I think it happens often. And I don't know that Akron will have the resources or the desire to triple team him like you probably are going to need to stop him. Because that will obviously leave Emeka Egbuka or Carnell Tate or anybody else open, or Will Howard to run for a 70-yard touchdown. Remember when Justin Fields had like a 58-yard touchdown in his second play of his career at Ohio State?
Mm-hmm.
I think Will Howard's early career is going to have a similar splash play. It's just going to be involving the alien Jeremiah Smith, and that's going to happen 70-plus yards on the first drive of the game. So now, I mean, we're really drilling down.
You are. You've drilled down pretty deep here.
I did like when we were talking to Will Howard this week, and he was talking about the differences between being open at Kansas State and being open at Ohio State. And the difference at Ohio State was basically that their receivers exist and they're just on the field. So he's definitely just going to toss it up to JJ.
I love Will Howard because he sat there for like 45 seconds trying to preface that by going, I don't mean this to be offensive to anybody I played with before, but
He's like,
none of you were any good.
I know how the internet works. Please listen to my entire quote before you cut this up. This is deferential to Kansas State, but Jeremiah Smith did not play at Kansas State. Emeka Egbuka didn't play at Kansas State. The best part of that quote, Bill, was like, he's like, yeah, if they have one-on-one coverage, they're open. Like, no matter what happens after that, just throw it to them. Okay. Yeah. It's easy.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I do think that they're like, that was the part of Will Howard's transition early on, like in spring football. It's like, you're not used to doing that. If you spend 4 years and it's like, you have to actually see separation and maybe a lot of separation before you throw the football. Like, I don't think it's coincidence that he brought that up and described the difference of like what they're asking him to do at Ohio State versus what Kansas State may have wanted him to do with the football in the air.
Yeah, and that's like an NFL mentality too, right? Like most of the time guys are covered in the NFL, right? Like the window of what is open is basically just like, can you see the receiver? So that's an adjustment that Will Howard has to make, but he seemed like really excited by it, right? He didn't sound like a guy who was like worried about, oh man, I got to make tight window throws down. It's like, no, you have a bunch of freaks out there. Just let it rip.
How can you not be like, it's not just the freaks. It's also Ryan Day's passing offense and Chip Kelly's ability to scheme guys open combined with that. Like, it's not like you're going to have one-on-one situations where the guy's open automatically if it's one-on-one, but also they're going to be open. Like they're going to be actually open. They're going to be Kansas State open, you know?
Did you just coin this the deli offense?
Yeah, the deli. Hey,
let's look some cold cuts. Yeah, double turkey for Berm. We were asked, or there was a thread over at OhioState.Rivals.com talking about who's going to score the first touchdown of the year, and I initially answered Emeka Egbuka, and that's like a safe bet, but I don't think that's actually going to happen because Ohio State's going to lose the coin toss, and they're going to have to kick off, and Akron's going to get the football first, and they're going to throw it directly to Jordan Hancock, who's going to score the first touchdown of the year from the nickel spot. The first of 5. Berm said 6. Jordan Hancock's trying to get 5. He might cap himself at that. I don't know. We'll see. But his first interception of the year is also going to be a touchdown. Jordan Hancock scoring first for the Buckeyes.
Is it going to be like that play against Iowa a couple years ago when I can't remember who the quarterback was, just threw the ball like directly into the gut of Tanner McAllister?
Yeah. It's like, let's get this out of the way early, shake it out. Here it is. It's going to be just like that. And I think that's going to be the first reminder that, like, yes.
Was that Spencer Petrus?
Yeah. Spencer.
Yeah.
Was it Petrus or Petrus? I've heard both.
Whatever
it doesn't matter. It really
terrible.
Doesn't matter at all. I don't know where he is or what he's doing now.
Not going to work here anymore anyway.
I think he's a starting QB at Utah State.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like
Diana wasn't turned off by that. Yeah. I think it's going to be a reminder that, like, for all I talk about Jordan Hancock a lot, maybe too much, but when you point to all the stars that are on this team, and Caleb Downs is here, and Lathan's back, Denzel's back, Jack JT, Cody Simon is the captain. Jordan Hancock just rarely seems to get mentioned enough to me. I think he's the piece that really elevates the entire defense and gives Jim Knowles the versatility that he wants. Like, it is a safety-driven defense, but a lot of that is ignited by the actual nickel. And I think that Jordan Hancock is the ideal person for what Jim Knowles wants to do there.
He definitely is. He's the rug that ties the room together. You need it. Otherwise your feng shui's off. You know what I mean?
Austin doesn't understand that reference because he's never seen The Big Lebowski.
Oh.
I'm aware of the reference. I have been on the internet for many years.
Now I'm actually wondering if I've seen The Big Lebowski or if I've just seen enough clips of it on TikTok to think that I've seen it.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need to watch it in its entirety.
Bill's never seen the program.
I haven't. No.
Quick, let's make this about something else.
like how you said that like I committed a crime.
Bold prediction number 3. Bill.
I think long term, I've said this several times, that Quinshon Judkins will be perceived as like RB1, just have like more carries, more yards, more touchdowns, that kind of stuff. But I think Travion Henderson maybe rules the day in week 1. And not necessarily with rushing yards, because I do agree with you, Austin, that I think James Peoples will probably have the most carries and therefore the most yards. But I think Travion will score 4 times in this game.
Ooh,
4
baby.
tutties for Trey. Give me 3 rushing, and he will be on the other end of the 1 passing touchdown that I have for Will Howard. I think he's
Little
going to
wheel
I think he's going to take a screen to the house, a little slow screen, get some nice blocking in front of him, and take it to the house. And I think at least one of his rushing touchdowns will be a big hit too. We're talking like 50, 60 plus yarder, I think. And it'll just be Travion is a major part of this offense, so it's not like the staff will want to reward him necessarily in game 1 and then kind of pass the baton to Quinshawn for the rest of the year. Like both of them will play a major role in this offense this year. But I guess I wouldn't be terribly surprised if Ryan Day and Chip Kelly do want to give Travion a little bit of a tip of the cap in this first game, just for sort of like being as important as he is to the team and carrying himself well in a situation where maybe not a lot of other running backs would when you bring in a guy like Quinshawn Judkins to share the workload with you. So I think they highlight him. I think they try to get the ball in his hands early so they can get him out of the game quickly. But in doing so, he will end up scoring 4 times.
4 touchdowns. That is bold.
I early on in the thought process about this show, I thought about boldly predicting that Quinshawn Judkins was going to break Mayan Williams' single game rushing touchdown record and have 6 touchdowns in this game. I'm not going to do that because I don't think he's going to be on the field enough to do it. But the more I think about how Akron is going to just generously give the ball to Ohio State repeatedly in this game, and the fact that they are not going to be able to really have first downs, I think the Buckeyes are going to have a lot of possessions. And on account of that, I've got Ohio State with 700 or more total yards of offense in this game. I think that you are going to have the 350 game that you dream about as an offensive guy. So 700 yards of offense. I agree with Austin's earlier point about 350 yards through on the ground, and I think that the Buckeyes will amass at least that many also through the air. Will Howard, if he only throws 1 touchdown, I think that would be disappointing in some ways because people are going to expect a lot more. And that could be about the score at some point. But I think Will Howard is going to throw for 300 plus. I think his career high is like 311 or something like that. So I think he breaks that. And then the Buckeyes run the ball in the second half. So 700 total yards of offense. I don't know when the last time Ohio State did that was. I know they did it a couple times in 2019 under Ryan Day. I don't know when the last time they did it was. Maybe it's not that big a number. I don't know. Maybe it's not that bold a pre, but a P, not a pre. I guess it's still a pre, but
it's still a pre. Yeah.
They had 763 against Toledo 2 years ago.
Yeah. So give me that. Because I think you could see a 70 burger on the scoreboard in this game if things go the right way.
Okay, that's it.
If the weather,
he's always sneaking in those extra bold pre's right there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I gave my score prediction on Monday at Roosters. I said 63-6. The more I'm thinking about this game, the more research I'm doing into the Akron offense, the more you look at the potential for some inclement weather early in the game. Like I think it's going to be sloppy for Akron, and I think the Buckeyes will end up scoring more than I had anticipated.
I think this game will be under because of all the rushing and because of Akron trying to get the game over with as fast as possible. Even if they can't get first downs, they're going to take 2.5 minutes to milk every 3 and out. So if we were doing the gambling show, I would have this game going under. I know there's some people who actually did profit with me last year, so I want to make sure that that's out there. Take note of it. That's my.
What's the over under?
The total is? It's like
50. Is it 59.5 or something?
It was 58.5 when I looked at it earlier. I don't know if it's moved or where it is at this exact moment, but even if that's the number that it settled at, I would take under that. Like I think that something like 52-3 is or 56-0 is like where I'm at for this game. Because if we're talking about, yes, it'd be great to see all 3 quarterbacks throw the football and running your whole offense and building depth and doing all that. Like, you don't have to do it all at once. It doesn't have to be in week 1 against Akron. I think it's not because you're, opposed to getting somebody hurt or sportsmanship or any of those things. Like, the clock moves fast now. Like, I don't think Akron is going to be trying to come from behind to pull an upset if they get down by 4 scores. Like, they're going to want to protect their players too. Like, I think it gets pretty difficult in this day and age to like get to 70 or to top 60. Like, it's just the nature of the game now. So that's where how I feel about this game. We'll see on Saturday finally if that's right. But I do expect that they're going to score some. They're going to get to 50, and 3 of those touchdowns are going to come from the tight ends. 1 from Will Kazmarek, 1 from G. Scott, 1 from Jelani Thurman. They're all going to get involved. They're all going to get out there. It's going to be a hat trick. Will Howard loves the tight ends. Said that already. He's going to be just firing that pigskin all over the yard right to the tight ends, and I'm going to love it. It's going to be great to talk about them again next week, and it'll give them a little bit of confidence after being like the, I don't know, weak league punching bag throughout the offseason. I think they'll, Ryan Day, the Delhi offense is going to emphasize the tight ends to get them
got some lots of meats.
What's the day look like for Jelani Thurman in your mind besides the touchdown?
Like 25 snaps, I think. Probably only like 2 catches. One for a first down, one for a touchdown. He can give the first down sign and actually
will he actually get the first down?
He's actually going to get the first down. I mean, Kazmarek and Scott, I think, will both play heavier workloads, but I do, as we've mentioned a lot, like probably 5 tight ends going to be playing. I don't know that the snap count is going to be even for all 5 of them, but probably bunched up pretty close if I had to guess, especially if I'm right about the running game being prevalent. You're going to see a lot of the 12 or maybe even 13 packages to get some of that done. Sign me up for it. I'm ready to watch it. I think that a lot of Ohio State fans out there have been wanting this as well, to get the power rushing attack back. And this is the first opportunity for Ohio State to go do that.
I think if Jelani Thurman has 25 snaps in this game, it is a really good sign for Ohio State for things to come.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that will happen, but I think that there is. I do think
is that a bold P that a bold P won't happen? Wow.
I mean,
he's trying to double stamp a bold P.
You already double stamped my earlier BP about Jordan Hancock getting a first quarter interception. That's what we're doing now. That's what the show is now. We just take what the other person said, smack it, flip it up, rub it down.
I was not trying to rub any of your bold P's. How dare you, sir?
Maybe
it's scary to be back, though.
It's clear I'm the king of the show this year.
Hey, do you guys think we're going to see the T formation
on the first snap?
Not on the first snap, but like at all on Saturday? Is that a red zone wrinkle? I think so too.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see it in the red zone.
Rapid fire bold P time.
Yeah.
Oh, but what if they give it to Patrick Gerd and he's the third tight end who scores?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
I'm going to take it from G and give it to G. Get it?
Okay.
Gerd.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm also a little bit concerned about the wrist or hand tape, and the G. Scott missed some days, so he might not be the receiving threat down there. Let's give it to Patrick Gerd instead.
I like it.
Flipped it, reversed it, rubbed it down.
This has been great. This has been great.
I'm so glad
we really accomplished something here.
We did. We accomplished another episode of the Podcast Daily on Freaky Friday. Bold Peas are back. Ohio State is back in the Horseshoe Saturday, 3:30 against Akron. We're all excited. We hope you are too. Hey guys, the offseason is really, truly over at this point. The games start tomorrow. We can't wait. He's Bill Landis, and that's Jeremy Birmingham. I'm Austin Ward. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you later.